This video covers an introduction to the properties of multiplication. So we're working in the real number line, right? So all of these properties are going to apply to all real numbers, and there are four properties we're going to talk about today. So the first property is the zero property. If we let a represent any real number, then it's always true that a times 0 is 0 and 0 times a is 0. So if I have 7 times 0, that's 0. If I have 0 times 7, that's also 0. So basically any number times 0 always equals 0. Secondly, we have our identity property. Let's switch to a prettier color. If we let a represent any number, then it's always true that a times 1 is a and 1 times a is a, right? We call 1 the multiplicative identity, whereas 0 was the additive identity, meaning I could add 0 to any number and have it unchanged. The multiplicative identity means I can multiply it and have my number unchanged. It maintains its number identity. So like 1 times 6 would be 6 and 7 times 1 is 7. So that's our identity property and our zero property. Next, we have our commutative property. If we let a and b represent any two numbers, then a times b equals b times a. So just like addition is commutative, so is multiplication, which is pretty nice. If I have 2 times 3, that's the same as 3 times 2. Both sides are going to give me 6. Last, we have the associative property. We do have an associate property for addition, and we also have one for multiplication. So if a, b, and c are real numbers, then if I have a times b times c, or a times b times c, they're going to be equivalent. The grouping of the numbers doesn't change the product. So if I have 2 times 3 times 4, and I have 2 times 3 times 4, this would be 2 times 12, because I simplify parentheses first. Remember, PEMDAS, GEMS, order of operations. 2 times 3 is 6, so I've got 6 times 4. 2 times 12 is 24. 6 times 4 is 24. We have the exact same number. So in this next slide, let's identify the property used. So if I have 0 times 6, that's the zero property. 1 times negative 3 gives me negative 3. That's the identity property. If I have negative 4 times 3 is the same as 3 times negative 4. Again, both sides would be negative 12. That's the commutative property. And if I have negative 5 times 6 times 3, that's the same as negative 5 times 6 times 3. That's the associative property.